Hey, how you guys doing out there today? This is Seth Jimenez. I got that money ready for NFL this week. It's starting up. So I'm here. I'm going to give you our top wide receiver plays for Week 1, Fanduel and DraftKings. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you like our videos and you want to check out more videos at RotoBeast. And hey, let's jump into it. We'll start at the obvious plays. It's going to be Antonio Brown and Julio Jones. Both of them are in absolutely phenomenal matchups. We'll start with Antonio Brown going against the Browns. They rank 30th in the league versus wide receiver ones. They have a defense that ranks 30th in the league overall out of 32nd. So, I mean, they're 2 spots away from dead last. The defense isn't very good. The one guy who used to give Antonio Brown fits was Joe Hayden. He's no longer with the Browns, so I really like Antonio Brown this week. The Steelers have the 3rd highest expected points they're going to score at 28 points this week. And another thing that we know about Big Ben is that he likes to feed his stars. So I think that Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell are both going to have monster weeks this week. I know people are talking about that Roethlisberger isn't good away from his home, but they're going against the worst team in the league. So I really, really like Antonio Brown this week. He's top 3 receiver in the league without a doubt. So, hey, get him in your lineup so you can fit him in. The problem is he's kind of priced up a little bit. Same thing with Julio Jones. He's going against the Chicago Bears, who ranked 27th in the league versus wide receiver ones. Their defense is ranked 23rd overall. Julio's going to get fed by Matt Ryan, just like, Brown's going to get fed by Roethlisberger. Falcons have the 2nd highest, points that they're supposed to score at 28.3 points they're projected at. So Brown and Julio are going to be the top 2 receivers. There's no question about it. The next plays that I'm going to talk about, a lot of them have to do with they're just too cheap. This happened last season, the beginning of the year. They priced people down. As soon as they started doing what they regularly do every single year, the price skyrocketed. So we got to take advantage of the cheap prices. So first, we'll go with Terrell Pryor. With Kirk Cousins now, I really like Terrell Pryor this year. He beasted out last year, and he's with the Browns, the worst team in the league. So now that he actually has a quarterback who can throw deep and likes to throw deep in Kirk Cousins, I think he's going to have a monster year. I think it's going to start Week 1. It's kind of a tough matchup for him. But at the same time, I like the guy, and he's 6.2K on FanDuel. That's just way too cheap. He's a guy that has 8.5K upside, and I expect him to be in the high 7s, low 8s within the next couple weeks. So we're going to take advantage of Terrell Pryor's cheap price. He has a massive ceiling, so I really like him this week. Next, we'll go to the old man. We'll go to Larry Fitzgerald for the Cardinals. Everybody was trying to say he's getting old and he's lost a step, but last year, he did great. He had 107 receptions last year. He completed 72% of the passes that were thrown to him were completed. And he's going against the Detroit Lions, who ranked 26th in the league versus wide receiver ones. And their defense was 32nd overall, so they weren't very good at all. I think Fitzgerald is a lock and load cash game play for FanDuel. He's 6.4K, which is way too cheap for him. So plug him in. Don't think about it. He doesn't have the crazy high upside, but he has the floor that you're looking for. Next, we'll go to Doug Baldwin. He's going with the Seattle. They have a 24 implied points that they're supposed to score this week. Green Bay last year was ranked 28th versus wide receiver ones. Baldwin is clearly the wide receiver ones for the Seattle now. And Wilson loves this guy. This dude, he'll disappear for a week or two. All of a sudden, he'll get 2-3 touchdowns in a game. Like this dude, he gets his passes from Wilson when Wilson is right. So I really, really like Baldwin this week. He's not as cheap. I would like him maybe a tiny bit cheaper than what he is. But nevertheless, he's a great play, and I think there's going to be a shootout between Seattle and Green Bay. Yes, I think it's going to be a shootout. I know Seattle has a good defense, but they're going against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to get his, okay? So I like Doug Baldwin. Next, we'll go with Kelvin Benjamin for the Carolina Panthers. This guy, he's been looking good in preseason. He's going against the 49ers, who ranked 31st last year versus wide receiver ones. Their defense was 28th overall, so they were pretty bad in general. And you know, like I said, Benjamin, he's been looking good since coming back from his injury he had last year. He had a couple good plays in preseason, and I expect Cam to, to look for him a lot. He was Cam's favorite receiver, and I'm expecting the Cam to get back on track as well. So I think this duo is going to do something. I think it's definitely going to start week 1 as well. Next, we'll move on to this one. I mean, it's just a crazy pick, but I like him. Jordy Nelson, I know he's probably going to get stalked by Sherman, but the thing about it is that the Packers, they also have Cobb, they also have Adams, and they have, Montgomery, who's coming out the backfield. So I don't know if they're going to be able to just go man-to-man with Jordy Nelson and Sherman. But so I think, they'll maybe mix them up, put them in the slot a little bit. I really like Jordy Nelson. I think he's a little bit cheaper than he should be. Last year he was at 8,500, 8,800, somewhere around there, wide receiver, and he's I think 76, 77 right now. So like I said, let's take advantage of pricing. I think he's a top 5 receiver this week. Last year, he played Seattle 2 times. He scored 2 touchdowns against them. So he still got his. It's not like, oh, he got shut out because he played Seattle. And I like Jordy Nelson this week, okay? It is what it is. And my last receiver that I like, he actually went to a new team. It's Alshon Jeffries for the Philadelphia Eagles. The guy, he's only 7,000. This dude has massive upside. The problem with him is he would always get hurt. He's going against Washington, who ranked 22nd versus wide receiver ones. They had a 25th overall defense. He may get stalked by Newman, but I'm sorry, not Newman, Norman. He may get stalked by Norman, but at the same time, I like Jeffries. People don't really shut him out. He shuts himself out by getting hurt pretty much. But Jeffrey was looking good in limited time over the preseason. And, I expect him to have a breakout year as long as he can stay healthy with the Eagles. Carson Wentz, I think he's going to, be better this year than he was last year. And so that's kind of where I'm at. If you want our full lineups, visit our website, www.rotobeast.net. And please, if you like watching our videos, please hit the subscribe button. Please share. I've been making people a lot of money, and I'm doing all this for free. All I want you guys to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel and just help me grow a little bit, all right? So those are my wide receiver picks. I'll be back tomorrow with my tight end picks, and have a good evening. Take care.